Hello, 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 and welcome to my live Ask the Attorney Anything. I'm Rebecca Zung, top 1% attorney, and as you all know, the author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. And I'm so excited that every Tuesday at noon Pacific, I'm here live with you answering your questions. And I see I already have a lot of people here on the call with me, and I have tons of questions already here for me. So what I would love to know is where you guys are all tuning in from, so I can say hi to you. I'm here in Los Angeles, where I've been sheltering in place for many months now, and I'm hoping all of you are staying safe and healthy even while you're dealing with that pesky narcissist in your lives. So, and as you all know, I've dealt with narcissists myself. That's why I have a personal crusade to help you all escape the clutches of being with narcissists, giving you step-by-step advice, actual real-world tips on how to do it, how to actually do it in a way that you can win and feel like justice was served, right? So I'm here every Tuesday answering your questions live. And I see Rosa from Sweden and Stephanie from Iowa and Lucy from Albuquerque and another Stephanie from Florida. Annette from Norway. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. You said you were amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Patricia from Texas. All right. So I want to try to answer some of your questions. Just remember that I am an attorney, but I can't give you specific legal advice for your specific situation. For that, I highly recommend that you contact an attorney who is licensed in your particular jurisdiction, but I can give you general ideas and thoughts on things to think about in your cases. One of the questions that I saw was about getting somebody off the loan on a piece of property. And I wanted to address that because I think that's a really important point. If you are on a loan together for a piece of real estate, you should definitely consider how that real estate is going to be divided, and then also the loan on that piece of real estate. So let's say you own it jointly, maybe meaning that both of your names are on it. And if both of your names are also on the mortgage or on the loan for that property, then if one person is retaining that property, that person should refinance the loan so that they get the other person's name off of it. You want to be really careful not to be stuck on the hook for a loan that you no longer own the property for. That's like a big, huge mistake. So be super aware of that. And that really goes for any kind of asset or property. If you're not retaining the asset, you sure don't want to be stuck left on that loan too. Okay? So that's a question about the loan. Let's see what other questions I've got here today. I see somebody, can attorneys require other parties to produce annual crummy letters? So crummy letters are letters for the amount of income that somebody is supposed to receive off of a trust. And the short answer is that any kind of income is going to be relevant in a divorce action if alimony, child support, or attorney's fees are an issue. Those are the three areas that you're going to be looking at for an income situation. So anything that is related to income is going to be relevant. And yes, the other party can be made to produce that information. If they don't produce it, you can always do subpoenas. And while they can object to subpoenas, that means you're going to have a hearing on their objection, and they're going to have to explain to the judge why it's not relevant for you to have information about their income. So hope that answers your question. Let's see. How to escape a malignant narcissist. Last week, I did a video called Before You Divorce a Narcissist. Watch this. For those of you who want to escape a narcissist, I would definitely check out that video. How to negotiate in order to avoid court during divorce. That is something that I highly recommend that you check out my SLAY program, which is develop a super strong strategy, create invincible leverage, anticipate what the narcissist is going to do and be 2 steps ahead of them, and focusing on your case and not just defending what the other side is doing. The only way you're going to avoid court is by having enough leverage and having a strategy over the narcissist where they do not want to go to court. Or even if you get to court, sometimes I've had the other side settle like at lunchtime or on a break because they see how things are going because you've prepared so well in such a way that there's no way that they're going to be able to win. Okay, so so some of these questions that you guys are asking, you're asking me a lot of questions about trusts. You know, do you have to dissolve a living trust? You know, a lot of these questions are very state law specific. But let me just tell you in general that if somebody is getting income from a trust, then that's going to be relevant if you have alimony, child support, or attorney's fees as part of your conversation in the divorce. So trust will be relevant in that situation. And then as far as whether or not trusts are considered to be an asset, it really just depends on whether or not that trust is going to be considered marital or community property in your particular state. And that really depends on how the trust was funded, where it came from, who set it up, what kind of control the person has over it. Meaning, do they have, you know, is it a revocable trust? Is it irrevocable? Who's the trustee? Who has control over it? So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered before anybody can give any specific answers around what to do with a trust in a divorce. Okay, so where can I get that course? You go to slayyournegotiation.com. Go to slayyournegotiation.com. And if you go to my website, there's a free webinar, and you can take that webinar. And I do offer some discounts on the webinar from time to time. So you can sign up for the free webinar on my website, which is RebeccaZung.com, and also get some discounts as well. So for those of you who are looking for an attorney in your particular area, in that webinar that I was just talking about, I give you tips and tricks on how I would go about finding a lawyer in your area that's versed in narcissism and knows what they're doing. So are both pension and Social Security considered when determining alimony? Again, that's a state law question, but I will say in general that any income is considered income when you're looking at spousal support. But definitely ask your attorney about that. Let's see. How do you proceed with no contact? For those of you who want to go no contact, definitely go watch my free webinar on the 3 must-have secrets to communicating with the narcissist, because I give tons of advice on how to create boundaries and how to go no contact. I give you 5 or 6 different ways to do that. And so it's a little bit too much for me to go into here, but you definitely do want to go no contact if you can. It is the only way to get them to stop seeing you as a form of supply, and the only way to start healing yourself as well. So let's see. I want to just see if I can answer a couple more questions. Should I ask to leave my spouse? Is it a good idea? I can't really quite answer that for you. But definitely come and check out my free webinar and see what you think about that. If you think that you're married to a narcissist and you're going to continue to be abused by a narcissist, then you probably don't want to stay married to that person. So, all right. So Rosa said, it's helped me setting boundaries. I got peace of mind. Definitely. So is it a good idea to hire a forensic accountant? If you are dealing with, here are the main things that I would hire a forensic accountant for. One is to figure out if there's a value that needs to be placed on a business or a business interest or something like that. That would be one thing. Another reason I would hire a forensic accountant is to try to figure out what somebody's true income is, especially if they are employed by themselves, like self-employed, because if they're self-employed, then they probably are getting taking income in all sorts of different ways by having the business pay for personal expenses, and all that stuff can potentially be added back into to figure out what their true income is. Another reason I would hire a forensic accountant is for a lifestyle analysis to figure out what your actual lifestyle was so that you can determine spousal support. So those are the main reasons that I hire forensic accountants. There are definitely other reasons I've hired forensic accountants, like valuing stock options, whether they're vested or non-vested, restricted stock units. If you have a C-level executive who's being paid in many different currencies, I've had forensic accountants help out with that. And especially if there's tax implications with those kinds of compensation structures. So those are some of the reasons why I've hired forensic accountants in the past. So let's see. I'll try to do maybe one more question. Let's see. So exciting to see where all of you are from. And I love doing this every single week and being here with you guys and actually interacting with you one-on-one like this, and actually, seeing what your questions are real time and answering them for you real time. So how about a spouse working in many different states and income with same employer? So, what you may want to do is actually just subpoena his pay records or her pay records, whoever it is, to the employer directly and find out exactly what the pay is, as well as I did do another Ask the Attorney Anything on this, on subpoenas, and you might want to go check out that video as well, because you can subpoena their employer directly and figure out what their true income is that way as well. If they're not self-employed. If they're self-employed, it's a little bit more complicated. So, all right. Well, that does it for me for today's Ask the Attorney Anything. I am so excited to have been here with you and so grateful for all of you, and love this opportunity to connect with all of you and answer your questions real time here. I know that you're dealing with hell. So if you have not gotten my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet, you should definitely do that. You can just grab it at winmynegotiation.com. And if you want to sign up for my free webinar, just go to RebeccaZung.com and you can sign up for that as well. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment. I want to know where you're from and what's going on with you. I love seeing you in the comments as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, now is a great time to do that, because that way, if you hit subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll get notified every time I upload brand new content or every time I go live, just like this, answering your questions. So thanks so much for being here. Please remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm here to help you do it. I'm Rebecca Zung. Thanks so much. I send all of you light, peace, and strength.